So I've been asked a few questions regarding my case. Some of the stuff I cannot go into because of legal, quote, legal orders, which I believe is maintained to silence me. But what I could tell you is that I am never going to receive a fair trial in Ventura County. There is no way in hell. Too many political people are involved in this, including the city council member. What I've seen from the political ads from the recall that's going on, the political ads are correct, including the following of their volunteers to try to recall the council member. What I could say is that stuff happened to me back in 2023 and back in 2024 by the followers of this council member, and the significant other of this council member. It was done to me. It was reported, but nothing was done because the Oxnard PD covered it up, and because the fact is because the Oxnard PD is bought and paid for by Haas Industries owner Gene Haas, because the fact is because Haas Industries Foundation donates money to the Oxnard Police Department, which right there should have been enough to freaking move my case out of the jurisdiction of Ventura County. Also, too, the detective in my case has withheld information from my attorney, including the threatening emails that I've received from the quotes victims in the case, which should have they have not even traced the emails to my understanding, and they didn't even turn it over to my attorney. 3, I have emails from the Oxnard Union High School District that specifically state that I did not threaten anybody at the Oxnard High School District, and they received no complaints, and that in fact they said that I was quite cordial. That came from the Assistant Superintendent Richard Urias, and also came from Thomas McCoy, the Chief Superintendent of the Oxnard Union High School District. And they had this person testify in open court and said a whole different lies, and these emails contradict that. And the district attorney's office and the Oxnard Police Department had these emails in their possession prior to October 16th of 2025. Now you tell me, how is that giving me a fair trial when they know they're presenting witnesses that have lied under oath, and they stated that on October 16th of 2025, and no charges have been brought? That this is shows I can never receive a fair trial in Ventura County. My family was being threatened, and I decided to leave because I cannot get a fair trial. Now, if I'm guaranteed a fair trial, which means moving this case out of Ventura County into a different county, and guaranteeing my safety because I have been threatened to be murdered in the Ventura County Jail, I will come back willingly. But until I can get those guarantees, I cannot come back, and I won't come back. And I hold dual citizenship, so I'm good where I'm at. And there has been a California bar complaint that has been filed against the prosecutor in this case, because the founder of Citizens for a Better Oxnard, Mr. Herrera, has also been threatened by a candidate that was endorsed by this council person, saying, quote, "The bitch isn't home," and took a picture of his front door and provided me the home address of where Mr. Herrera stayed, and offered money to have Mr. Herrera attacked at his home by trying to ask my older brother, but my older brother didn't want nothing to do with this situation. The council person was on the phone call when I received the call from this person. And it's all they have to do is check the Facebook logs for the calls, and they'll see that I'm telling the truth. The calls happen. But I am never going to receive a fair trial in Ventura County, and I'm not coming back until I get guarantees for my safety and guarantees that my case is moved out of Ventura County. I'll refuse to come back, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can always try to extradite me, but it's going to end up in a fight, and I have evidence showing that the threats against my life are legitimate. And also, Detective David Garza, when I was in the courtroom, physically and inappropriately touched me when he was pat searching me down and put his hand between my buttocks. I go, what was the reason for that? If they wanted my phone, all they had to do was and I gave them the phone willingly. And I already went through court security already. There was no reason for an extensive body search like that. And when I filed a complaint, the Oxnard PD Internal Affairs, of course, covered it up because they always the blue wall always covers each other. The Oxnard PD has a known history of sexually assaulting people. Look at Senior Officer Martin Polo, who had sex with a 12-year-old child, and the Ventura District Attorney's Office covered it up, saying that the 12-year-old child consented to a sexual relationship with the Senior Officer Martin Polo, and 2 other officers were at that substation, and none of them were charged. A 12-year-old child, under the state of California laws, cannot consent to a sexual relationship with a grown-ass man, especially a police officer. It's a violation of color of authority under the badge. And he was involved in other incidences of running over a person apparently on the beach, never charged. Or let's take, for instance, the murder of Mr. Limon, who was just running in the street and got shot by the police over 17 times in the back. None of the officers charged, because the blue wall of Oxnard PD covers each other with the Ventura District Attorney's Office covers each other. Then now you take a look at the fact is that the Oxnard Police Department is refusing to release the body cam footage of Detective Garza and Sergeant John McBride, because they know if they release those body camera footage and the audio unredacted, it's going to show that inappropriate touching. Because when he touched me, I was like, hey, watch that. I might take that personal. If you request the body cam footage, and you'll see I'm telling the truth. And I also, this is right here, I have the complete form right here from the Oxnard Police Department covering up the incident. Oh yeah, and also I have to cover partial this because unfortunately, because let me pulling it out. It shows email addresses, certain email addresses I cannot. This one is from Detective David Garza, that you will not make it out alive from jail. When you are in jail, we'll take Jacob far away from you. You'll never see him again. Okay, we got that one. We've got emails showing him threatening me during a court case. But Oxnard PD covers this up, which is considered interference in a criminal court proceeding, and it's also considered extortion. Oxnard PD covers it up. Let me pull some more out. Let's go. I have other ones too. I'm trying to get them. I got a whole list of these email threats. I have one from Miss Negri. It says, Mr. Magallanes, I told the so-called victim, I'm not going to use the person's name, that I did not know the person's name. The 2 men in these pictures that I sent attached with this were not the persons that talked to me. because I was told and I was the person filed a restraining order against me, saying, using this person's statement, saying that I came on the Oxnard High School campus and threatened people. Ms. Negri stated that me and the person in the photograph were not the people that came on the campus. So false court documents were used against me in court and also used in the criminal case against me. Now you tell me how that the district attorney's office knew, Catherine Plant knew that this was illegal, because the fact is, because I was not the person on the campus as Ms. Negri stated in her email. 2, the witness stated that I threatened people at the Oxnard High School campus. 3, I have emails from the Oxnard High School District Superintendent Thomas McCoy and Richard Urias, specifically stating that I did not threaten anybody or harass anybody. They received no complaints about me, and that I was quite cordial during the meeting. So you tell me that the prosecutor, when they were given this information prior to October 16, 2025, how the hell can make a statement like that to the Judge Anthony Sabo, and nothing gets and open the night to the judge and gets away with that? You tell me how that's a fair trial. There is currently a complaint regarding Catherine Plant with the California Bar Association with this information. She also, if she did this to me, she also did it to the freeway shooter George Gracia in Fresno County, which he got 354 years in prison, which now can possibly overturn this case. You tell me how that is fair. You tell me how can I receive a fair trial when you got prosecutors lying to the court, and the detective David Garza and Sergeant John McBride withholding evidence from my attorney. You tell me how that is fair. That is why I left. I came back to my home country. I am not coming back until I'm guaranteed a fair trial. My safety is guaranteed. I'm not going to be murdered in the jail or beaten by the guards at the Ventura County Jail. All I want is a fair trial, and I want to be not placed in the Ventura County Jail. I'll take any other county jail except that one. My uncle was Theodore Unschultz, was murdered in that jail by the guards who refused to give medical attention and died in that jail. I am not coming back unless I'm guaranteed those 3 things. And if they, and the Ventura District Attorney's Office, if they have nothing to hide, then recuse themselves and transfer this case to the Attorney General's office. And the city of Oxnard can't afford to have me testify, because they've used a known felon to threaten people, to harass people, and a current Oxnard City Council member is known friends with them. I have pictures of them together, and he has threatened me multiple times, and I have emails proving that. And the city of Oxnard is worried, because if this comes out, it will lead to massive civil lawsuits against them. And it's also because every case that Detective Garza, John McBride, and Catherine Plant prosecuted is gonna be a good chance of being overturned. And I can tell you too that Sergeant John McBride has also deliberately harassed Manuel Edwards of Oxnard, and him and his mother. They would go to his house. He would, when he showed up at his house, he had these nano cams on his porch. John McBride would turn the camera. Him and his Oxnard PD would turn his cameras around so he mess with his cameras, because they didn't want them seeing what they were doing. They would use neighbors to try to gather information on Manuel Edwards to harass him. This is typical of the Oxnard PD doing this kind of stuff. It's so much corruption going on with the city of Oxnard, it is not even funny, including Haas Industries. They got caught dealing with Russia, and it's not only that. What I don't understand is why no state charges for fraud, wire fraud, even a RICO charge against Haas Industries. for violating the Russian sanctions. They had to lie on documents, because the fact is, to get those, because where the money's coming from, it's financial crimes also being committed. It needs to be investigated, but it won't be, because Erik Nasarenko has received money and parties from Haas Industries, charitable events, and everything. So I know I'm not getting no fair trial, so I'm not coming back at the USA until new changes are made. I'm staying in Germany.